Why would anyone plant flowers in their garden when they attract the vicious killer that's number 3 in the countdown? You may think the bee is our friend, happily pollinating flowers and giving us honey. But bees kill 10 times more people each year than the fiercest grizzlies, gators, and spiders combined. Up to 2 million Americans are severely allergic to bee venom. One sting could kill in less than 5 minutes. One bee on its own is bad enough, but we start getting scared when it calls for reinforcements. Bees are number 3 in the countdown because we're desperately frightened of the swarm.
Its size is immeasurable. Its power is limitless. Its enemy is man. It is more than speculation. It is a prediction. The swarm is coming.
In fact, the swarm is here. The legendary killer bees swept into the United States in 1990, and with them came hysteria and fear. After all, killer bees are fun in the movies, but how'd you like to find a huge nest hanging in the trees of your backyard? If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, it's time to call in Derek Taylor and the Africanized bee removal specialists.
The reason that the Africanized bees are so dangerous is when they attack you, they attack in a lot greater numbers compared to the European bees. They actually have no more venom in each sting than a European bee does, but when they sting you, they sting in far greater numbers and a far bigger radius. A European queen, when you upset her, will send between 20 and 30 attack bees, no matter how big the colony is, and they'll sting for a shorter distance. The Africanized queen will usually send around half of the colony. So with these mammoth colonies like this, we can get anywhere between 10, 20, even 30,000 bees in the air at a time stinging people, and that can be very dangerous.
And that's why bees are number 3 in the countdown, even with the appropriate safety equipment. The thought of thousands of animals trying to cause us pain can be terrifying.
This hive is amazing just because it is so big for an exposed colony, to have a colony with all the guard bees on the outside, to be hanging out in the open like this where you can see the whole thing. Sometimes we get these in the walls or underneath sheds or something like that where they're not all exposed and the guard bees are on the outside, but to have a colony get this large outside is extremely rare. There's the first one. First thing.
For some people, taking on a swarm of killer bees would be the ultimate nightmare. But ironically, we've only got ourselves to blame.
Well, actually, it was in Brazil years ago. They had the Africanized bees, they were working with them so they could make more honey. What happened is they had 17 queens that got loose that somebody let out, and they slowly made their way up. They said that they'd never make it above the Panama Canal and they'd never live in the mountains in Mexico because the winters are too cold, they're too harsh for them. And notoriously, Africanized bees never stored enough honey. Well, what they did is they picked up, the only trait they picked up from the European colony was this, hey, let's store more honey. So that's why they can live through the winters now, and that's why we have these Africanized colonies of 50, 60,000 bees that were unheard of before, and that's why these are such a threat.
But not even killer bees can compare to the fear and loathing we have for another deadly animal. For there's nothing sweet about our next contender.